Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan, and you might be thinking, what's that behind you? This is 6 pieces of a Hellboy chest, printed in white PLA. Obviously I've got blue tape holding it all together because I've glued the pieces and I'm waiting for it to go off. I'll show you the inside. So at the minute obviously it's white, so you probably can't see a lot of the details, but this body that I found from a model is really good. I'll put a link in the description for the model, but if you want this body,
You want this body?
Is this a trick question?
let me know in the comments. Maybe I can add a link or something if this interests you. But I'm going to show you how I made this for a 3D printed cosplay. If you saw my previous video on hollowing, I did something very similar, except I then sliced the model in half. I did some deleting of the model. So it's 5mm thick, and pretty much it. If I hold it up to myself, I've had a little bit of scaling, it should sit about there. Now I've left the shoulders in. I know it probably looks really weird, it's hilarious, but I'm just going to explain it. Yeah, so I left the shoulders beside the neck because when I've got Hellboy's coat and collars up, they're going to add some bulk. They're going to give me those big shoulders that Hellboy's got. So they'll lift the shoulders up a little bit on the coat. The coat's going to hide a lot of all this, but it's cutting out where the arms are for the biceps on the original model. Gives me the freedom of movement, even up. Okay. So I've got the chest, I've got the bit where the neck sits in. You're not going to see a lot of this because of when I've got the Hellboy mask on. And he's got a goatee, he's got sideburns, and then he's got long hair. I'll have the long hair coming down as well, but the coat's going to hide a lot of this stuff, and I don't have to worry about our back. I'm just going to stick some straps on this, and then it'll just sit on me like this, and I've got full movement. It's not bad actually. I'm not sure what it's going to feel like when I've got a mask on. Should be fine. Might get a little bit claustrophobic, but I'm going to stop running on, and we're going to paint this up. But before I paint it up, obviously it needs a primer. I need to fill it out, but I just want to reinforce this inside, take this tape off, and possibly do some resin. I'm definitely going to fill on the front because there's some gaps. It happens on a lot of prints when you scale them up and then print them. Usually a small amount of, I guess, warping in the print, and it leaves it like that. So I'm going to cut to showing you how I did this, and then we'll come back and we'll crack on with painting this up. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go to CG Trader and look up Hellboy 3D print, this one here. Now, so as you can see, that's perfect for what you want to do. Now this thing would work with anything else, anyone else. You type in, I don't know, Batman statue, not caps there, but that'd be fine. But you got Batman statues here galore. There's that one there that I made in a previous video. So anyway, you could do this with anything, and actually this model's got quite a bit to it that I like. I quite like some of these pouches that are on this model. I quite like the symbols that you can see here on some of these pouches. They look really cool. The face, I'm not too keen on the way the head looks. It lets this down. If the head had a better sculpt, in my personal opinion, that would have been perfect. I'd have used the head for the mask as well. There's a back. Hold on. The back's cool. You got a bit of a tail there. I've got a tail and I've printed that off, but I'll either show you in this video or a future video the whole tail thing. I haven't painted it or anything yet. It's printed off, it's glued together, and that's about it. But anyway, moving on from this. So you download that file, and it's got some images in it, the same ones that are on CG Trader. And then you got STL parts. Now, I believe the chest is Subtool 2. I'll just quickly open that in Mesh Mixer. Yeah, so for the full hollowing guide tutorial, watch my previous video where I get really into how I do that. But in this, I'm just going to do this really quick to show you how I made this body. So I'm just going to spin it round, raise it up. You can already see it's quite big. It's not messing around, but it's not big enough at this scale, but it is big. So I'm just going to accept it as it is there. So first thing I want to do is make it solid. I'll crank up the mesh density and the solid accuracy, because that way we'll get better quality. This can take a couple of minutes. I'll have a sip of coffee out of my Christmas mug, actually. Why not? Well, it's decaf. I don't drink caffeine. Ooh. So this could take a minute. This could take a while. It depends on the complexity of the model when you increase mesh density and stuff, because it does increase the number of triangles and the size of the file as well. Even if it drops in visual quality, it makes it a bigger file. It's a bit of a pain that way. Hopefully you can't hear my printer behind me. That's my Creality K1 Max. Just printing something off for a mate. Because it's always printing. That's very rarely turned off. A lot of my files, if you want to see everything else that I do, that I don't just make a video on, you can follow me on Facebook. See, my name's Ryan Collins. So you can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. The information to follow me on those, it should be in my channel's description on my homepage. If you check that out, you can follow me there. Come on. Have a nap. So what's everybody else been up to? What else are you working on? Are you into making cosplays as well? Do you have a YouTube channel? If you do, let me know down in the comments. I'll have a look. I'll subscribe. Anyway, so we're back. The body's been solidified. The body's been solidified. So I'll accept it. This is a great model. I mean, you're going to struggle to find a better quality model for a Hellboy. Right, so now I'm going to hollow it out. We don't want 2. I'll put it up to 5. Now, I don't care about the quality on the inside, so we're just going to update the hollow and then accept it. So then now I'm going to cut it at the bottom, because we don't want all this. So cut it about there. Cut that arm off, and then I'll do the same the other side. I'm gonna plain cut it kind of about midway in the shoulders, somewhere around there. Click that blue arrow. That seems good, but it's the neck. So when the neck comes around, it slims. Well, slims. It gets slimmer to the back of the neck. You might be able to just see it there. So I'm going to bring it forward a little bit, because we don't want to be squeezing our neck into where that gets thinner. We want it somewhere like that, I'd say. Which means I'm then going to put this on a little bit of a wonk. Hold on. It saves you a lot of time. I could have, why not take the time and model my own? Because this is quicker. And to be honest, it's a compliment to the artist, because so obviously I haven't got a lot of confidence in my own abilities. The quality of this is just, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect for a body. It's going to look realistic. And yeah. The idea is a lot of this is going to be hidden by his coat. I don't plan on walking around with the coat off for this. So anyway, I'm going to accept that. We've got the neck how we want it. I'll do. Cut the arms off. Kind of want it cut off before we take off any of this heck. So there. And I'll do the same the other side. Bring it out and make sure we don't catch on that peg. Seems about right to me. Oh, crap. Forgot to click the blue arrow. Make sure you click the blue arrow and swap it round. Otherwise you'll do what I just did. So that looks about right. So now I'm going to separate the shells. And we're now going to get rid of this piece on the inside. That's why we hollowed it. Get rid of that piece. And there's our torso. And that's it. So now we just need to do a tidy up. So I'm just gonna, this is just quick. Again, not showing you how to do this exactly, but it's generally the idea of what it is that I did to make mine. So I'll get rid of that. Make that a bit smaller. The same this side. And this is just the leftover bicep. Trimming this away. Right. And I'm probably going to have to do the same on the inside here. Looks awful, but anyway. So we'll delete that. And that's what we're left with. Oh, I wasn't that far off on this side. So I'm going to tidy this up. That's not too bad. And then we'll get this side as well. Okay. So as you can see, this looks a lot like what you saw at the start of the video. So we've got issues here, haven't we? So I'm just going to make this solid again. And it should automatically fix those. Yeah, look. It'll automatically fix those edges and join them together. So I'm going to put it up again so we get our quality back. Okay, so I'm back. It's loaded. And it still looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it? Now, there's a smoothing tool. I'll accept this. And I'm now going to smooth out these edges. So if I go to Sculpt and Shrink Smooth, make it a bit bigger, and then just smooth that out. Like so. I'll just smooth the whole thing out because you don't want it catching on you. You don't want it pinching your skin. And then up here, smooth the shoulder. We want that to be comfortable, especially up here by the neck. We do not want those points. I mean, look at that. You do not want that going in your neck. Tidying it up and thinking about what's going to be making contact with our neck. Now, there's a couple of dodgy bits here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to select them and I'm going to edit, erase and fill. Oh, hang on. Delete it. Make this really small. Select the edge. Double click. And it'll select the edge. Now erase and fill. There we go. Let's tidy that bit up. We've got a couple of floaty bits here. But if I go to edit, separate shells, it should separate those floaty bits from this model, and I can just delete them. Right, so once we've smoothed all that out, you have something like this. There's the back, front, and that's it. And then you just slice it up. You can slice it in this by going to edit and plane cut, go straight across the middle. That's not what I did though. I sliced it there, straight across underneath the pecs. I did it straight down the middle in half. Make sure you select keep both sides. At the top left it says discard half, but you can click on that and go keep both, and it'll keep both sides. And then at the top here, I also cut it just underneath the shoulders. It's about, it was about here. I think that's roundabouts roughly where I cut it. And then I had the 2, 4, 6 pieces to print out. And that was it. Printed it out, used some basic cheap super glue along the edges, blue masking tape, and just left it to sit there. So I hope you found this helpful. Hope this has inspired you to do something of your own with a cosplay. It does open a lot of doors. You can be pretty much any character. You don't have to be waiting for these, you know, these really popular 3D model makers to put out an armor, an armor set, when you can just look around at statues where you get a good full sort of upper body of the character you want to be, and then do this method. Print it out, get paint it, get some straps on it, strap it to yourself, and off you go. And this will work with head sculpts. You can take a head off a model, do the same thing, turn it into a helmet, a mask. Yeah, just make sure that you're not selling it, because this chest piece is not mine. I'm not taking ownership of it. The torso was modeled by the original artist, and yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it belongs to him. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts, what you're working on, all that good stuff, and I'll be back in a minute and we'll be painting this up. Right, so I've got it sitting on a bit of upholstery foam on here just because I didn't want the plastic banging about. I'm going to take some of this off, not all of it, because I'm going to do some filling down here. As you can see, there's a little bit of an opening. I'm going to fill this in, just make that strong, and then I'll remove more and gradually go down.